we have two oceans, Caribbean and Pacific. We are bordering Venezuela, Brazil, Peru, and next you're going to find Bogota, country's capital. After that, you will find the Colombia Massive, Amazon, and on the last floor, you will find the Great Caribbean. Either you're going to dance salsa, mambale, and play jazz.
The Chiva is yours, Omar.
Parceros, as we call friends around here, buckle up your imaginary seatbelts. We're going to see some of the most spectacular places in our country.
We can visit all of these places since they are nearby and well connected. In the coffee cultural landscape, one-of-a-kind natural, economic and cultural elements blend together perfectly. This landscape, which has been listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is the thriving result of hard-working coffee-growing families that have kept a legacy alive for generations.
That way, Colombian coffee culture remains renowned all around the world.
All of these incredible places you see are possible thanks to Colombia's imposing mountain ranges and the various climates that exist at different altitudes, from reservoirs to rivers.
Wasp valleys, even perpetual snow. Now we introduce mountains as we're doing today. Another woman who stole my heart.
Hi, Omar.
This is Estela. She'll be your guide as you discover the history of the Western Colombian Andes.
This region of the Andes that we'll be touring is an example of balance between tradition and progress.
Let's start with Bogota, the country's capital. Art, gastronomy.
The people of Bogota are great hosts for both tourism and business.
You can say the history of these lands is very steep, isn't it, Stella?
Since I was little, I have seen people riding bikes as early as 4 a.m. These are the roads where Naira Quintana and Lucho Herrera started pedaling their way to glory.
These mountains surely take us to amazing places where you can rest, enjoy and breathe in local culture, don't they?
You're right there. These are towns where the word luxury translates into hospitality, culture, and peace. Oh my, the handcrafts made in these regions are sold all over the world.
Stella, why don't you show them?
Okay, Omar says that I shouldn't let you go without showing you one of his favorite places. An ideal destination for those who seek thrills and excitement.
I think the time has come. I'm water. And in order to tell you the history of Colombia and its connection to the future, we must visit the Highland Woods.
Let's go!
Colombia is definitely a blessed country thanks to mountains like these that we love. I'll tell you why. Just wait.
Thanks for my family for continuing to wait and Africa.
See the future.
I believe that by preserving our past and our culture, we can understand ourselves as part of the future.
I agree with you.
I'm going to show you something like this loom, the one my grandmother taught me to use. I remember the first time I visited the last sanctuary, a place my grandmother took me to as a child to sell our looms. It was the first time I came upon a faith different from mine. I was impressed. Then I visited Popayán to witness the celebration of the Holy Week. It opened my eyes to a world where we all have different beliefs, which we must respect.
Perhaps I know someone who might be able to answer your question. Show us your loom.
Welcome to the Colombian Amazon Orinoco, sacred rainforest and plains. Let us be carried away by the wisdom of nature.
It keeps its ancestral knowledge and traditions alive, which include healing rituals for both body and soul.
The air has granted us permission to experience the journey of the ancestral Maloka. Look down.
Whoa!
Be inspired by the hearts of our ancestors, the National Park of Chiribiquete.
It's huge.
It's a World Heritage Site, essential to the preservation of the planet's biodiversity and natural ecosystem. It's a true treasure.
It's so beautiful.
The River of Seven Colors is a great example of how water is life. Perhaps our future, indigenous or not, depends on taking care of everything we've been gifted, especially water.
Let's go back to my region. I want to take you to a very special place, Taita Manuel. The perfect place to gaze at the stars is the desert. For hundreds of years, the native peoples learned to follow the stars. We still look at them, so we don't forget where we come from. They are our GPS, leading the way to keep alive our ancestral wisdom. My grandparents taught me to look at the sky, but also to look at the earth, at the water, to know who I am.
Maybe that's the answer you were looking for. It's time for me to go, but the journey will continue to Ruben's Gala.
From here, where the sun sets, all the way to the Mavecure Hills, you'll find only virgin plains, epic sunsets, and an immense variety of flora and fauna. This is the Orinoquia. We, the Llaneros, learn to ride first and walk after. That's the way we are raised up. Here we grew up among the experts, the biodiversity unlike any other in Colombia. The Llanera culture speaks of cattle, horses, coleo and coropo. But if it's Colombian rhythm music, then follow the earth, and you'll happen upon a pleasant surprise.
From the musical instruments, the Colombian Pacific vibrates with the sound of music, tradition, and ancestral heritage.
In the greater Colombian Caribbean, air is so important that we go vallenato just that, airs. Our whole life revolves around a big variety of rhythms and flavors.
Meet Jonathan and Shadia. Let's stop talking about rhythm. Let's show them. Jonathan, why don't you start?
Welcome to your first class of Pacific percussion. We're going to start with a simple rhythm using the drums in front of you. Now, use your right hand first like this. Try to follow the rhythm. Now, with your other hand like this. This is basic for low beat, which goes like this. Now, we're going to try to do another rhythm. This time, we're going to do a boom day. It goes something like this. Let's follow the rhythm. That was really good. Our music reflects the paradise we live in. One of the most diverse ecosystems in the world. But don't think that the Colombian Pacific is just beaches. It's also Cali, a vibrant city brimming with culture, entrepreneurship, design, and style. With a captivating and electrifying atmosphere, whether you're here on business or simply to have a good time. After all, Cali is the salsa capital of the world.
You just like salsa? I love to dance salsa.
Why don't you teach them a couple of simple steps?
There, let's learn some basic salsa tricks. So, we're going to do side to side transfer tricks like this. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, faster. Arms up. Good job, everyone. That was great. Okay, so now let's switch to one of the greater Colombian Caribbean rhythms. Let's dance Marbalé. Okay, everybody follow me. Arms up like this, and we're going to push up and down in circles. Put our whole body into it. Okay? You got it? Now Okay, good job, everyone. That was Caribbean enjoys a huge number of rhythms. And that's fascinating the indigenous Wayuu to the Raizanos and Palenqueros with rhythms such as vallenato, porro, cumbia, which have been recognized as World Heritage, show the world that we have a land of contrast.
It is true. As you start heading away from the sea, you will find beautifully quaint little towns in between rivers, marshes, and mountains. Indigenous civilizations, all with a rich cultural heritage.
The Barranquilla Carnival is a colorful celebration in which we get to express all the folklore and diversity of rhythms that make up the greater Colombian Caribbean. Just like the Carnival, we are a region filled with joy, color, and diversity. We always have people from all around the world who get to experience firsthand our art.
It's impossible not to get caught up in the rhythm of these two regions. Their love of life is also reflected in productivity and entrepreneurship, in the creation of industry and renewable energies. This is a place that's quite simply impossible not to fall in love with.
So now you know what we expect of you. Jonathan, get over here. I want to bid farewell to our guests with a dance. Hey, Jonathan.
Are we dancing champeta?
Yes, sir. We
Okay.
are. Join in. Don't be shy.
You can definitely feel the rhythm of flavor in the air.
You can feel the heat, not only in the weather, but in all the people who live their lives passionately. You should never let that fire inside you go out. I'll see you soon to tell you more.